Hello, welcome to Kenty Prime Time Finals edition. Paul Kent here, talking all things finals this weekend. I'm joined by two of the young hotshots in the NRL. You'll get to know a lot more of them in future years. Ryan Couchman.
How you going?
Toby Couchman.
Yep.
People tell us you two are identical twins.
Yeah.
So, people don't know Ryan and Toby, two young kids coming through at the Dragons. They've had the odd little setback here and there, but things are looking good now. Everything's all right now. The bodies are all good now.
Yeah, getting there. I'm nearly 6 months post my ACL. So
Yeah.
It's getting there, back running, and it's progressing well. Yeah,
You're just flying.
Yeah, I'm 7 weeks post shoulder op, and starting to run again. So
yeah, I'll tell you what, they're buggers, these injuries, aren't they?
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah. How do you go through getting through that? Like, so you would have slightly been out, overlapping each other. You sit there in the rehab and just look at each other, just think, Jesus, we're young blokes already, and this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, early on it was good because I still got to watch him play, and he was playing pretty good. But it's been some tough days, but it's good to have each other. We're going in at the moment together, and it helps having someone with you. Yeah, for me, I've had it pretty easy compared to him. Obviously, round one he did his ACL, missed the rest of the year, and I've missed the back half of the year, but not as bad of an injury either. So yeah, he's working really hard. So I suppose that makes it easy for me coming in and working hard. Yeah,
and you have your dark days too, don't you? Like particularly like round one, you've done all that hard work over the summer, pre-season, all that. Round one, the knee goes out on you, and season over.
Yeah, it's definitely been some tough, challenging days, but at the same time, I'm enjoying the challenge of it. And I think the hardest part for me was game day throughout the week, and I was getting through my work, and being around the boys was good. And it was that tough feeling on game day where you watch the boys, whether win or lose, you couldn't be a part of it. So yeah, that was the toughest thing for me.
The future for you guys, everybody talks very positively about what's in store, and a lot of hope for very successful careers. But you've also got a bit of a wide sort of family background too, haven't you, with sport? Like there's a little bit of elite sporting blood running through the family. The Mercers are your mum's cousin, is that right? Darren and Dean Mercer?
Yeah, Darren and Dean Mercer are Ironmans. They're our mum's cousin, and our dad's great-grandfather's a cyclist. So
yeah, he's on the verge of the Hall of Fame too, is that right? His last name Ross, is that right?
Yeah. Don't know too much about it, but he's apparently getting inducted in the Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. And then obviously the Mercers, we did a lot of Ironman training and that as kids, and definitely proud of that part of my family. Yeah,
it's. Do you think athleticism sort of runs through families like that? Like you see a lot of champion footballers, they throw off kids, but not all of them turn out to be like them. But there's still a lot of father-sons that play rugby league, isn't there?
Yeah, well, our dad played rugby league, but to be honest, I don't think we're ultra athletic, or he was either. It's just more like you learn things through family members that do sport, like how to prepare, hard work, stuff like that. But yeah, I suppose a lot of cases you do see athletic families where like father and son are just amazing athletes.
Yeah. You guys never thought you'd go into Ironman?
No, we knew pretty young that footy is what we wanted to do. We were pretty keen. We went and competed at state there, and then we were pretty keen on it. It was just something to do in the summer. Like we trained pretty hard for it, and it would get you fit, help footy. And summer was that, winter was footy. Yeah. And about 12, we stopped Ironman to focus fully on footy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's young to sort of focus on footy. Like, what made you do that?
At the time, we were surfing a little bit too. We were doing swimming training pretty early in the week, and I guess we just found a real love for footy as soon as we started playing, and I guess that's what we knew we wanted to do that from a very young age. So yeah, Dove went all in on that.
Did you have the discussion between each other, or did one of you decide and the other thought, I'm going to do it as well? Like how do you come about that? Where you obviously very close.
Yeah, I was probably a bit delusional. Thought I might have been able to be a pro surfer as well, but yes, terrible surfer. So. Yeah, no, we just around high school. It was around high school, I think, when we were going into year 7 that we spoke. We're going to give it a real good crack, and our dad said he'd support us, and I suppose it helped having him, and we made a fair few sacrifices. And I suppose when you know what you want to do, you got to go all in on it.
It's young to start making sacrifices, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
The Dragons this year, it's a funny sort of season for the Dragons, because I look at the year they've had, and to me, looking back, it seemed better than the actual results show. Like there was a lot of games where they were in the game. The scores were tight. The losses were close. Games there where Dragons outscored the opposition in tries but lost on penalty goals and things like that. I think a couple of times beaten in Golden Point. It was just one of those unusual seasons. They finished third last, I think.
Yeah.
But it did seem like they went so much better than that.
Yeah.
How did that feel within the club?
No, it was frustrating, I suppose. It was extremely frustrating. If you look at 2024, we either won games or got absolutely pumped. Whereas pretty much this year, pretty much every single game, there was obviously a few where we got blown out, but every single game we were right in it. And I suppose just on that alone, I think it's a step in the right direction from 2024. And yeah, as you said, it was pretty frustrating. It's like a good feeling knowing you're close, but then it's also like so hard, like losing when you know you could have won. And yeah, it's just real frustrating. But I suppose it's a step in the right direction, and we need to expand on that next year. I think we'll be better for it. As you said, there was some close losses and probably a few 1-point losses where we should have iced the game and didn't. And I think we'll be better for that going forward. And even some of the young guys that we blooded this year, obviously we had a pretty big injury toll, and they come into first grade and did a good job. So as Toby said, it was frustrating, but it's definitely, I think we're on the up, and I'm excited for the future.
I'm going to get you guys to talk through the this weekend semi-final matchups, and we go through the teams, the strengths and weaknesses and whatnot, and how we think the games are going to play out. But just a little bit more on the Dragons before we get there. The Shane Flanagan influence. To talk to us about him coming into the club and what your experience was with him, and how you feel he's improving the club. It's funny, he gets a mixed bag of criticism. I know there's people that just like him, and which I admit I'm one. I like what he can do to a football club. I think that Dragons was a very astute appointment to make him the coach of the club. But there's a lot of people too who just are always critical of him. When he came into the club, how did things change?
The whole thing looked quite different, to be honest. He can get the best out of individuals, and he does that pretty well. And he's pretty ruthless, and that's what we need. He's ultra competitive, and he wants to win, which from the top down, that's what we all want to do, and it's a common goal. And yeah, he's brought in new systems, some new coaches with him, high performance, and yeah, we've seen a real change, and it's been good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next few years under him as well. Yeah, I think he sets high standards for himself and everyone, and yeah, you'd have to meet them standards. Yeah, so he sets them, and as Ryan said, he's good at getting the best out of individuals. Him and Dean Young came in 2024. Dino changed all our defence.
How did he change that though? Like, talk us through that. Like, how were you doing things before they got there, and what's different now? Like, in a purely practical sense, if you're sitting down and talking to a young player in the club who's just joined the club, and you said, "Look, this is how we used to do it.
Yeah,
this is what we do now." Like, can you just talk us through how specifically what those changes are?
Yeah, so it was a whole new system. Or in the middle and on the edge, on the goal line, we want to fill the field, get width. Whereas previous years we've been a lot tighter. Well, 2023 that was my first year, but yeah. And it all starts from marker, inside pressure, and just everything. Every decision we need to make is based on being in a straight line. Edges know when they need to jam, when they need to slide off, and he sets them principles. And if we get beat doing well, he'll own it. So
yeah.
It's just, everything starts from marker and inside pressure from the middles to try and get the ball out. And, we need to be in a straight line on the edges. That's real important.
Yeah.
He summed that up pretty well. Just add to that, Youngie's massive on competing, and you look at his career, he'll happily say he probably wasn't the most talented guy, but he made a career out of just competing hard and giving his best effort. So, yeah, that's what he wants to see, and I think that's what we're building.
How, because that's one of the things that Funhouse teams have all got, that desire within to get in the contest, scrap and fight, don't give away any cheap points, fight for every little meter you get, every point you score. Like, how hard has that been to instill in the club?
I think it's honestly been pretty seamless. Like, you look at the guys we brought in this year, Gutho and Cookie.
Yeah.
Like, that's what their game's built around. They ultra competitive, and they give absolutely everything out there. So you see your top doing that, your two captains doing that, and it's easy to follow. Yeah. And we've got some young guys that do that as well. So I think everyone's on board with that, and it's a team we want to be. That's our identity. We've talked about that in the preseason. We want to be known for a team that competes.
One of the things I said, which was one of the reasons I think Funhouse was a good appointment for you, Yeah, I've been around the game for 30 odd years like this, in this capacity or similar, and I've seen a lot of coaches who can take a team from 14th to 5th, 15th to 3rd, things like that, who can take squads that are, I would say, poorly performing, bottom half, bottom quarter of the ladder, and they can get them into semi-final contention. They can improve them to that much, but they've always then generally struggled to take them from 5th to 1st. Whereas there's other coaches who can't really take a team from 14th to 5th, but they can pick up a team that's running. Warren Ryan, for example, was great at coming in, picking up a team that just floating around the semi-finals, but just could not get to that premiership yet. He'd come in, pick them up, and he'd take them to the top. He was probably good. He did the same in Newtown. He took them from the bottom, near the bottom, to a grand final as well. So he's probably one of the few exceptions. Funo's also that exception. He took over Cronulla. They were 14th when he took over Cronulla in a 16-team competition. And within, I think it was 6 years, I think it took him from 14th to 1st. And not only did he do that, he did it at a club where basically they were struggling at the top level. The CEOs were changing over. They had troubles there. Obviously, we know that there was some other sort of stuff in the background there that contributed to it. But essentially, he was running the salary cap himself. He was running the recruitment himself, as well as doing all the coaching. So he showed an ability to take a club from the very bottom or near the very bottom to the top. And that's exactly where St George Illawarra are, aren't they?
Yeah.
And that's clearly what you're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, his history of doing that, which he speaks about sometimes too, about the Sharks team he had and where they went. And that came along with, obviously the coaching, the players they had, and everyone buying in. I think they had some pretty good buys before they won the comp in Mick Ennis. I think Luke Lewis, guys like that.
Yeah, Luke Lewis. Yeah, but they did that. But he got those guys there. Ben Barber was another one. Like, he got those guys there. And the fact that he was able to identify, I need this guy, I need that guy, and be so precise with his recruitment.
Yeah, he got the right players there. And then obviously, I don't know what he did coaching-wise, but obviously everyone bought in and they were flying.
Can you see that happen at your club? Like, when guys are happening, team selections are made, and for example, certain players, or Terrell Sloan, for example, battled all year to be in and out of the team. And so Flanagan was making a very clear directive of what he wanted, what standards he needed. Other guys were being picked who were probably a little bit less fashionable, but they were going out there doing the job. Can you sort of see that as him slowly sort of putting all the pieces together, like of the jigsaw, and just building this team around? It's not probably what the fans would pick, but it's a team that once it sort of comes together, you can start to see how it all begins to work.
Yeah, definitely. I think to the point of your competing for spots, it's what you want, and a healthy competition. It brings out the best in everyone in the squad. I was just like some of he'll pick the team that he thinks is going to go out there and win for him, and doing things like competing hard and helping him get the best result. So I think it does help just having that healthy competition for spots amongst the squad. Yeah,
it's been frustrating though for St George Illawarra fans this year. Yeah, I've got a couple of friends who are Dragons fans. God bless them, and they sit there and they get frustrated at some of the losses, and I understand their frustration, but I also I think I can see improvement in the team, and I can see he's not making the changes that will bring probably the greatest result quickest, but that'll bring the greatest result that's going to be long standing. The one that's going to sort of stick around. Like, it's easy to bring a guy in who's going to do something for you, but ultimately that guy might not win you the games or be the player you need him to be or be the teammate you need him to be. So he's picking other guys that long-term are going to be the better prospect, which I think would be frustrating for fans to watch. But it's also, it shows he's got a long-term plan for the club, and he knows what he's doing and how to get there.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've invested pretty well into the young boys, and like they're putting some time into us and allowing us to develop. And I think, like you said, obviously it is frustrating for the fans, and it's been frustrating for us too amongst our four walls. Like, we haven't been getting the results we want, and I think we are building well, and I'm looking forward to hopefully, as I said before, we blooded some young guys in the first grade that without injuries, they probably don't play this year, but they're going to be better for that in the next 2-3 years. That experience is going to help them, and it's only going to make them better players.
In terms of the fans obviously being frustrated, there's improvement here and there and that, but at the end of the day, the expectation is to win, not only from us, but the fans too. They're passionate fans, and that's what you want from your fans.
Yeah.
When you're winning, they'll be with you. When you're losing, they're with you, but they're not happy. And that's what you expect, I suppose, because we need to win. And if we're not, they have the right to be frustrated. Yeah,
and you talk about that development, and you guys, as I said at the start of the show, there's big hopes for the pair of you. The club's got a lot of positive thoughts and a lot of hopes that you guys will develop into the players they need. And Funo's been patient with you. Obviously, this year with the injuries, particularly for you, it's been a setback. You later in the season with the setback. But, do you understand that? And how does that sit with you that, you want to be there and you want to play first grade now and you want to do all that, but by the same token, he's making decisions on your careers and based on the fact that he wants you to be long-term first graders, and because you can get to first grade too early. You get there too early, you get bashed up and burn out a bit. For a lot of players, it can be very hard to come back from. Whereas if you're brought through slowly, you're brought through at the rate that you can handle emotionally and intellectually, I'm certainly physically, but those as well. It generally leads to a longer, more successful career. Are you aware of that? Do you understand all that? And how does it sit with you?
Well, in 2023, I played most of the year first grade, and then Flanagan came in 2024, and he said in the preseason, I'm going to have to earn it again, and played first 10 or so games in 9 or so games in Cup.
Yeah.
And he told me I'm ready to come back up, and I've went up back into 2024 and haven't went back since. So I suppose at the time in the start of 2024, after playing mainly first grade or pretty much all first grade in 2023, it was frustrating starting in Cup. But I knew obviously new coach had to earn his trust and everything like that. So I suppose I realised why he did it, and no problems.
That's that with you, okay?
Yeah,
not initially, but
I know. I knew I had to earn it, and I was just trying to do everything I could to get into first grade, and I did eventually under him, and I feel like it was just a little bit frustrating at the time because the year before I was playing first grade, and 2024, the start of the year, I felt like I was way better than what I was last year.
Yeah.
But new coach, everything like that, I understood.
Do you think you're a better player now because of it?
Oh yeah, possibly.
Yeah, it's hard one to know the answer to it. Just within yourself and your understanding of the game, how you, I suppose, navigate your way through games. As you get older, more experienced, you find ways that, okay, I can cop a breather here. Okay, I need to push up here. Like all those little shortcuts that the older, experienced players just learn over time. And when you're a young kid, sort of up there going, you bullet a gate and you burn a lot of energy. I think sometimes that you probably don't need to burn.
Yeah, you come on as a headless chook first year, and in 23 we were 19, and then obviously playing in the forwards, and I think that experience was definitely good for us. For me personally, I think you learn about a bit of the roller coaster of first grade and the highs and lows. The first year I didn't win a game. In my first year, that 23 was a pretty rough season, but individually I was really, really pleased to be playing first grade. Like I was living out my dream, but at the same time, we weren't getting the results. And I think Flano touched on, he wants these young guys to come into a winning culture, learn about winning rather than losing. And obviously he's been around a long time and he's seen that. So I think that might be a reason why.
Thinking of it now, from 2023 to now, just how much more comfortable you are.
Exactly.
And that's only 2 years. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And losing can become a habit too, can't it? If you're in a side, particularly for young kids, brought into a side that's losing more games than it wins, and particularly if there's a bad culture in the senior playing group. I'm not accusing the Dragons of that, but if there is a too easily an acceptance of the loss, where we lost, but it's okay. That can be really damaging for good young kids, because that can teach them bad habits. Whereas you come into a side that's winning a bit, and the standards are and the attitude is, mate, we didn't win, so it's just not acceptable.
Yeah,
it just creates a better mood around the thing, but better also mindset for those young kids, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I think you should hate losing. Like it's no one wants to lose, and you play footy to win. And I think the guys we've got at the moment, our senior guys, are big on that. And although like they'll stay supportive, they'll stay positive through the losses, but everyone it's common amongst our group now that we want to win and we expect to win, and that's the standard going forward.
Yeah, as you said, a lot like our senior guys like Gutho, Cookie, Jack DeBellin, like Clemmer, all them older guys. Like if we lost, like they know when to be like supportive and that, but like it's also like very known.
They know when to give you a kick in the ass and say not acceptable.
Yeah, it's not acceptable to
Yeah.
Game starts in 2. Got to be quick.
You need something quick? I got something blistering. 5 for 25 from PointsBet. It's like hot sauce, but for sport. 5 taps and it's on.
Yeah, that's hard.
Aw, thanks, babe.
5 for 25, only available on PointsBet. Yeah, that's built different. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Let's talk about the footy then. We've got Saturday Raiders Sharks, okay? So there's a lot going around at both of these finals games this weekend. We've seen the Raiders. First, what do you think of that Sunday game of the Raiders and the Broncos?
I was cinema, mate. It was one of the best games I've ever seen. It was pretty good. It was a good spectacle and something like 95 minutes of footy. So it was a great game.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah. What about when like the Raiders? So the Raiders twice won the game.
Yeah.
Right, twice celebrated.
Yeah.
That's what I think a lot of people sort of haven't picked up on. They twice celebrated like they'd won the game, which, as you guys can appreciate, is a big, like, emotional overload.
For sure.
When you win those games, particularly in the manner they did, both were won at the death of the contest, and they won in a single moment, so to speak. Supposedly. And then to deal with the disappointment, okay, now got to stop, can't celebrate, Bunkers overturned it, and we're now going to go back to, extra time, or golden point, or extra time, then golden point. Then they lose the game, and they've got to deal with that disappointment. Now, the word out of the Raiders since then is once they got back together training this week, they came in and they've all been very upbeat and they've all been very enthusiastic, and the disappointment they've already left behind because they know they've got a game. How hard is it to get through something like that?
Definitely take a massive physical and mental toll on you. But as you said, I think they'd be up for it. Like they're playing this late in the season, and it's every team's goal to be still alive at this point. And obviously they played so well throughout the year. They won the minor premiership, so they've earned that second chance. And I think they'll be up for it versus the Sharks. I think it'll be another good game, and they'll be up for it.
I think naturally there could possibly be a bit of a dip. Like they'll be trying to be up for it, but if you play 95 minutes of footy on it, I think it's a 6-day turnaround. Like
6 days,
semi-final intensity into another semi-final. I think if they might this week they might be all right, but if it's another like game like that the week after, it's gonna be hard for them. Yeah,
because how tough is it to regroup like that? Because for people like us who have not played at that level, there's all sorts of aspects to it. There's certainly the physical aspect, okay, of getting your body right. So by the time you run out on the field for the next game, you're not feeling any soreness or injury or anything from, clearly sometimes you carry injury, but particularly any soreness or any sort of physical side effects from the previous game. But the emotional one as well, like that's the one that's really going to, I think, really bite down on the Raiders. That's what they're going to have to, I think, really work hard on this week, is to try and just make sure that they are turning that over.
Yeah.
I reckon they'd make an emphasis on, letting that fuel them. Like probably in their minds, they might have got unlucky with a couple of calls. Like they don't want to touch on it too much.
The old siege mentality.
The Hudson Young sin bin, like I've never seen a sin bin for someone celebrating. But I don't know. I think they could use it as fuel, like the loss. And as Toby said, it is tough at the back end of the year, like playing 95 minutes. But I think I don't know.
Have
I
to do
reckon
it.
they'll be fine.
It's semi-finals. They'll be all right.
That extra 15 minutes, will that have any physical effect on them?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
How much so?
Well, I mean, like, it's a semi-final intensity, so the intensity's already higher. And, like, a lot of the times after 80 minutes, that's, like, just what you're used to doing. So another 15 minutes will, like, I know when you're playing an intense game, it's like, like it the next day, next couple of days.
Yeah.
That was an intense game and an extra 15 minutes. So, yeah, I feel like it will have some sort of physical effect.
We've underestimated that a little bit, haven't we?
Yeah.
No one's really sort of addressed that. I haven't heard that been addressed all week, about the impact and how tough that might be, that extra 15 minutes at that extra intensity that we all saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about emotionally? Like, in some ways, look, knowing Ricky like I do, if that was the elimination game and they're out now, yeah, he'd be kicking his dog for a month. You know what I mean? That's just the way he'd be very hard to sort of get up for any period of time, because he'd sort of wallow in the loss, and players do as well. Okay, you sit there and it's all over, and you sit there and you go through all the what ifs and what could have been and all the rest of it. Given the fact that they have got that 6-day turnaround, that could actually be a benefit to them, because they'd switch on and say, you know what, we can't dwell on that. We need to fast forward and think forward and boom, get our heads into this game coming up.
Yeah,
for sure.
If they don't do that, they'll get blown off the park. You know, Sharks are a good footy side, and they had a great win on the weekend. So they're riding the momentum. So yeah, Raiders don't really have a choice. They got to just flush that and move on to the next.
Yeah, and the Sharks found some intensity on the weekend too, didn't they?
Yeah,
I thought Roosters were going to win. To be honest, the way they've been playing, attacking, surprised me a bit. But yeah, they looked really good. Defensively,
they just really frustrated the Roosters. They were just on point the whole game. They were aggressive. They were fast in defence. They got up and they just spoiled and harassed the Roosters playmakers, forced them into errors. They did everything you want to see out of a good semi-final performance. And to be fair, they probably haven't shown a lot of that all season, but they've come come good at the right time.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the time the narrative with Sharks has been like when they're on, like they'll win by 40. But what impressed me the most on the weekend was like there was times in that second half they were kicking it from their own 30-metre line like constantly. And they just kept competing, kept staying in it. And it was Roosters that would make the error and break when they were on top. And then they just let Sharks reset. Like they bent, but they didn't crack. And I suppose, like when Roosters were on top of them like that, they're a hard team to deal with. And the way Sharks stayed resilient was pretty impressive. Yeah.
So playing down there in the Raiders, it's going to be a night game. It's going to be a very different game than they played last Sunday. How is that going to change the way each team plays? Like, Cronulla did come out of that greasy game at Shark Park last Saturday night. Does it change the way they attack each other? Do they have to sort of re-evaluate their tactics?
Possibly. You look at the way Cronulla play, and they like to move the footy around and link out of the backfield a little bit. They've got strong outside backs, and I think they'll rely on them a lot to carry them out of yardage. And I think, the greasy, obviously Raiders are the home team and it suits them. They play the power game through the middle, and they do like to offload. Maybe that might be considered if it's a bit wet and slippery. But I feel like they'll be suited to those conditions a bit more than Cronulla. But I don't think it'll have too much of an effect on either team.
Me either. I feel like even if it is wet or whatever, like Raiders' edges jam a lot. So if Sharks are to beat them out wide, they're going to be like free running anyway. Like it's not going to be. They don't really use the sideline as a defender. They'll just be jamming a lot. So. Yeah, I don't think it'll change too much like through the week in terms of preparation.
The Raiders have been caught out a bit with that though, haven't they? Like particularly, their right edge?
Yeah, Tomoko.
Their right edge sort of leaks a lot more points than their left edge, and also through the middle clearly. And given those, you look at how dangerous Cronulla are with Miltalo out there, and they run a lot of their attack down that way. Fair to say that's where the game's going to be decided, down that side of the field?
I feel like, if Sharks do have a chance there. They're really good defenders, the Raiders, but I feel like it might be different without Savage there. But Tomoko's a big jammer. He jams on a lot. So if you can get the ball there to Iro and Mulatalo, it could be a bit of joy there.
Yeah. So how do you see them playing each other this weekend? We're going to sit down and watch it. Is it just, do both sides just stick to their style and see which one begins to dominate? Or how do they prepare for each other? How do they try and combat what the other team's strength's going to be?
I think Raiders need to play the way they've been playing. It's been working all year, but I think they need a massive emphasis on going after their back five when they're coming out of trouble. Sharks' back five is all five of them are really good, strong carries, and if they get rolling, then you got Addin Fonua-Blake and guys like that, like on the front foot, and that's not what you want. So you really need to win play one and play two. Raiders do, I think, and then that'll set them up for good kick returns, and then they can get their attack on from that. But yeah, if they let Sharks run up the field and have Addin and then Brailey getting out of dummy half, it's going to be
great. They got to control the ruck speed there.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for them. So yeah, I think go after the OBs, and then they can play their game off the back of that.
So tell us how they do that. So they kick downfield. You get like Foggy's he's got a good kick on him.
Yeah.
So he kicks it down, finds the corner. Hopefully, yeah. Mulitalo, for example, gets the ball.
It starts with your kick chase firstly. That's how you set up your defensive set, a good kick chase and win the tackle there, and then you get your line set and hopefully you turn the Cronulla middles around and there's not too many people behind the ball and you can get 3 in on that outside back and just controlling the ruck speed really. The both wingers are quite slippery and they fight off the ground a lot and they're hard to pin down. And as Toby said, when they get going, guys like Addin Fonua-Blake get going and get rumbling. Yeah. Whereas if you can turn him around the footy and limit Cronulla's yardage, you're making him do more work. So yeah, I think it's kick chase is where it starts. I think for both teams.
And they Kennedy likes to link up. They get back 3 back. Sometimes the center's back and they'll shift it if you're not good on the kick chase. So as he said, the kick chase will be super important for Canberra.
And what about the other way then with the Raiders? Are they as dangerous?
For sure.
From the backfield there, from the kick returns?
Well, KO Weeks,
he scored, he killed us with that, yeah.
So their kick chase on him is going to be very important. He gets a gap, he's gone. So, and then they've also got the strong carries like Chris, Chris, Tomoko, and Tamale.
Sav's
he's a punish to tackle at trap when he was a Dragon. So, so I feel like they do have similar threats, strong middles and that. But
yeah. So the Raiders are going to push through. They're going to sit there. They're going to good kick chase, and then they try and just really, do you put like a distance on the kick return, like as far as you're going to hit tackle 1? Do you try and limit them to say less than 20 metres for the first 3 carries? Like, do you ever put those sorts of limitations on it, or is it more just about how long you can take the tackle and make the tackle, and how much you can dominate that ruck?
No, well, the kick return's a hard one because if you kick real long, they're going to make more metres.
Yeah.
So if you're kicking out of your 30-metre line, they're going to make sometimes 30 metres on the kick return.
Yeah.
What we set a limit on is tackle 2 and 3, the next 2 after the kick return, because that's when your line's set and you're in control.
Okay.
So there is that's what we do with Dragons. We measure out play 2, play 3 metres.
Yeah. And then you just that's where you stop their momentum. Boom.
Yeah.
And is that through just numbers in the tackle? Is that
it's through metres gained.
Metres gained.
Yeah, but when you stop that by with how do you get up quick? Obviously line speed, but how do you stop that play 1 from damaging you? Like, what's the strategy there? Is it to sit down and try and really just get 2 or 3, 4 in the tackle and just really sort of wrestle and slow the play ball right down?
If there's no shape, you need to compress up. So they run into a real thick line, and then it starts from marker and A. Markers need to work, and then A's need to lead the line speed. And usually when you do that, you're going to win the first couple.
Get in them on the axe and take the leg drive away. That's a big one for us.
Who recognises there's no shape?
Right.
Do you do that as a team, or does someone call that?
Do a good job of compressing our line, so they'll look up and see if there's a threat, and if not, they'll compress us up, and our halves do a good job of that too.
So it's their job to
halves and wingers usually.
Just tighten it they tighten it up,
Yeah, so they sit there and they say, "There's no shape."
Yeah.
So I'm going to jam you in. They push everyone in
naturally. When they're tight, everyone just naturally tightens up.
Yeah. Okay, and then the smaller space for people sort of trying to understand that. That means a smaller space between defenders.
It's a hard line to run.
Makes it a harder line to run into. Makes it harder to sort of bend and push through and get significant metres out of. Yeah. So the Raiders, they'll start that way. They'll try and jam up. What happens if they start to lose? If they lose that first tackle, if for example Mulitalo, he might break, or somebody might get through and poke the head through a line. There might be even an offload. If you start to lose that tackle, how do you get through that?
It's bound to happen. I think they've been a pretty resilient team all year, and when things go against them, they kind of turn up, and they've just got classy players that just come up with plays for them. Like Ethan Strange has been outstanding this year, and he's only young, but he's a great player, and I think Fogarty complements him really well. So I think they've got the composure there. They've got Tarpany's exceptional. Fogarty, as I said, like they've got the guys there that'll keep them composed, and they've been real gritty all year. So I think it's going to happen at some point. But yeah, I just think they've got to keep sticking to what they've been doing.
And Brailey's going to be an enormous threat for them, isn't he?
Yeah, when we versed Sharks, he was on the tip sheet, especially after the first time. He done a bit of a job on us. And then after that, we really tipped him up, and that's when we got the win. Yeah, it starts with controlling the play of the ball, like especially guys like Addin. Like it's so hard, but you can't let them run scot free, do what they want, because then Brailey's gone.
Yeah, I was going to say that Fonua-Blake was going to be the next one, because he's tremendous at creating momentum for the Sharks attack, isn't he? Like he's got that ability that he's got that sort of little bowling ball type sort of run on him that he just crashes in. He can get a quick play of the ball away. And so much of their momentum can come on the back of the stuff he does.
Yeah, he's impressive. As you say, he's a big frame and he's got a big motor. But I think the most impressive thing with him is he's got good feet too. So you can't just come up and fly out at him, because he'll use his feet and get past you.
Yeah.
So you kind of need to kind of be a bit more passive nearly. Like you still got to step into him, and then you're giving him time to run at him. So yeah, he's an absolute handful to tackle.
And you don't want to be passive,
No.
because the best way to get those guys generally is to get up and be aggressive and whack them.
Yeah.
But given he's got the footwork, he can sort of make a fool of you that way too.
You need to go as a team after him. You can't go one out. But I suppose he's going to obviously have some great runs and cause some damage. Just what you do, like you need to try and get up to marker.
Yeah.
Like you can't let him leave you on the floor. And if there is a marker, you need to be set there and ready for Brailey. And like the line needs to tighten up, because there's obviously going to be, sometimes you can't stop what he's going to do.
Yeah, and Brailey sort of unlocked, particularly Nico Hines, but the halves as well. Like their halves, since Brailey's started to run the ball a lot more this year. Halfway through the year, roughly, he started to get out of dummy half a bit and started to kick up. And he, as the season's gone on, his running game's got better out around the ruck. And with that, Nico particularly, but also Trendall, like their footy's come on as well.
I think that's because, as he said, when Brailey's going and he's such a threat, you tighten up naturally. You want to protect your inside shoulder, your A's, B's defenders, and then Nico Hines sees an opportunity and gets it out wide. So as you said, it's unlocked him a lot. Yeah, and like his footies, he's a big reason why they've gone so well and why they're playing in the semi-final this week. So
I feel like Hines and Trindle's combination has gotten a lot better from last year too. Like they both kick well, so it's a dual threat there, and it's a good combo.
Yeah, the Raiders, Tapine is going to be important for them, isn't he? And particularly up against Fonua-Blake, like that's going to be one for the ages. Those two finding each other, isn't it?
Yeah, it's two of the best middle forwards in the game going at it. So yeah, that'll be an exciting battle.
Yeah, what do you guys learn when you look at guys like that play?
I suppose they got like a bit of power that we don't. So it is a little bit different. But yeah, I suppose what's with them, like there is guys like that won't work hard. Like kind of like big. They both. Tapine, he works so hard. Like he's strong carry, big strong carry, but he works real hard too. And he's a great leader. Like on the field, like they follow him. So yeah, like you see some games where it's down to the wire and he's just going after it and it just lifts everyone. So that's what I look at with him, just the way he like leads through his actions and goes after every moment. When
you play against guys like that, though, like how much do you feel their presence on the field? Like when you're just out on the field and Tapine's running around and obviously Fonua-Blake, like they're there on the field and it's different positions. You tend to sense guys around your own position. You know what I mean? Like halves are just sort of feeling the presence of the opposition halves, and wingers are probably eyeing each other off, and the middles and that are probably looking at each other. Like there is that sort of battle within the battle, isn't there? Of just you look across and you're seeing the guy opposite you, and okay, it's him or I. You know what I mean? Like you just sit there and think, I've got to get into him. He's got to get into me, and let's see how it goes. Like, do you guys feel any of that when you're playing?
For me, I think when I first come in and started playing, I was looking across at guys that I grew up idolising and watching, and like it was pretty surreal to be versing them. Yeah. Whereas now, I think not as much. Like I feel like you just got to try and do your job. But obviously, there's guys that have massive presence on the field. But for me, I feel like it's more the halves that I'm like. If you're coming up against a half, like a quality half, like versus Storm, for example, they've just got threats everywhere, and you you're always alert, like to where Munster is, where's Pappenhausen, Grant,
Yeah.
and like that's the main thing there, I reckon. But yeah, as I said, I think now I'm more comfortable. I'm played a bit more footy, and I'm more, I feel more comfortable playing first grade now. But yeah, early on I was definitely like a bit in awe about versing some of my guys I grew up watching, even playing with guys I grew up watching. So
yeah, it's you feel their presence when they're having a carry, because like it's on the tip sheet every week, and you need to go after them, get them on the ground and that. But like in terms of that like individual battle, like I just more look at it as like a team battle kind of thing. Like obviously you need to go after it like in every way you can, but it's not like as he said, like sometimes when if the halves a threat when they got the ball, because they can pull your pants down like more than, so that's like that can be scary sometimes when there's a real good running half.
It's funny you say that, because I remember talking to Gordon Tallis about it once, and he was talking about playing Origin, and obviously it's pretty intense through the middle there, you know. Even though it was slightly different back then the way they played, but as far as specifics with edge forwards and middle forwards and all the rest of it, back then you sort of, as a forward, you just got as close to the middle as you could in many ways. But he talked about when you play Origin, and he said, and I asked him about going up against this guy and that guy, and he said, mate, those guys never worried me. He said, but when Craig Wing came on the field, and just basically played that dummy half position, and he said he's just getting out dummy half and run. He said it terrified me. He said because he said he'd come. He said he was fast. He said you knew he had footwork. He said your legs are already heavy from having been out there for so long already. And he said he just had the ability to embarrass you. Like it was just, so sometimes it's not the big physical bloke. It's the little quick bloke to get you. Yeah. So, which way do you see this game going on Saturday night?
I think Canberra win. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll come down to the wire. Yeah. I just think Canberra have been too good all year, and I think I'll fall back on that, and I think Canberra win in a close one.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the fence, but if I had to pick I'd probably go Canberra too, but I would not be surprised if Sharks get it done.
Yeah, because Sharks have been tremendous, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've been so like their defence has been aggressive, and it's been real semi-final standard. Like it's when they needed to pick up, they picked up.
Yeah,
last week, as I said last week, they impressed me so much. So actually, I'll go Sharks. I'll go against you there.
Convinced him.
I was on the fence. I can Sharks will get it done. The only reason I was saying it is in Canberra, but no, I do think Sharks might get it done.
Yeah, right. And the big one then on Sunday, Canterbury Penrith. And we're all sitting here, and it's like the rugby league world now is fascinated because for half the competition, Canterbury led.
Yeah.
Got rid of the halfback. They brought in the new halfback, and they fell to the third spot, which is not a great fall, to be fair. But it's created this ongoing debate, which has been a weekly debate, and everybody's got their opinion on it about Galvin a halfback, Toby Sexton a halfback. And this week, I don't know if it's going to solve the problem or add to the problem, because Sexton's been named a halfback, Galvin's 5'8". How do you see Canterbury, who do have their odd problem? Crichton is unlikely to play, even though he's been named on the extended bench. How do you see the change in the Canterbury halves affecting their performance?
Look, I think they're all tremendous players, like in their own right, but the thing that a little bit concerns me is like they haven't played together.
Yeah.
Sexton and Galvin haven't played together, and obviously Burton shifted to the centre, and it probably is the best move with the team. They've got a couple of OBs out, out and injured. So yeah, I feel like they do complement each other really well on paper. Like Galvin's a runner, off the cuff style, and Sexton's a true 7. He can kick well and just organise well, but the thing that would only concerns me is just the lack of reps they've had together and being out there. So I think they'll be fine, and I think that combo will work well. But yeah, they got to get it together pretty quick, I guess.
I feel like it could be a bit of a challenge, because the reason they did bring Galvin in was obviously to strengthen the attack, and without Burton there, who's been a main, like he's still playing, but without him in the halves, I feel like kicking. Well, I don't know if he's going to do some kicking from centre and that, but his long kicking games.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure they'll find a way to get him in, because you just can't. You just can't say, "Oh, mate, we'll park you out there, and we'll lose your kicking game," because it's such a weapon. If you had an average kick, it's just if it's a 5'8" with an average kick, you say, "Oh, mate, you stay out there. We'll leave it to these two." But he's got the longest kick in the game.
And that the way Dogs play, like Burton's kicking, like complements it so much. Like, just go after you, win the arm wrestle slow.
Yeah,
it's going to be a funny one because they both try and play the same game, just grind you out and go on, drop people under in attack and just try and tire out the other team.
Yeah, well, he comes from the system, doesn't he? Right.
So it came from the system.
Hi guys, welcome to Points Bets Hot or Not. I tell you what I'm going to do this week. What's hot? Ronaldo Mulitalo is getting over the try line. I like him. I do like Canberra to win the game though. So I'm going to take the Raiders to win the game in a multi with Ronaldo Mulitalo to continue his try-scoring feats of late. He's very, very dangerous. What's not hot is the Canberra right edge in defence. So I think that kind of marries in to Mulitalo's chances to score a try. The other one I like, I'm going to throw in the multi as well, though, is Canterbury plus 9.5. The Bulldogs are going to make a tight game of it. I think it's going to be a much closer game than what many people anticipate. Given that, 9.5 I think is juicy odds for Canterbury. The multi, Mulitalo, anytime try scorer, Raiders to win the game. Canterbury plus 9.5, $6.30, points bet, hot or not. Make sure you get on.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Yeah, and you'd have to argue, based on that, you'd have to argue, fairly or not, correct me if I'm wrong, you'd have to argue for a Penrith win, given the fact that they basically play so similar, but Penrith just seem to be doing it better at the moment, but have also been doing it for a lot longer.
Yeah, Penrith have just kind of so impressive. They're just a juggernaut, and they've come in a fine tune right at the right time, and they looked pretty good last week. And I think they'll be looking to improve some of the areas there. They obviously got the win over in New Zealand, which extremely tough place to play, especially a semi-final. But they've just got so much class and experience in these games. And I think they'll be too strong.
The Penrith, you guys come up when you've played them, like. I find them they seem like it's so suffocating the way they defend against you, and the way they just shut you down, and the way they just keep strangling you. Like they're so patient the way they play. Like with the ball, they probably set the template. Of the outside backs getting the first couple hit ups, getting that quick momentum, then it gives time for the middles to get back and hit one or two before they put the players on. Cleary kick into the corners, and then they get up and they just stifle you with their defence. And they're just so patient at it. They don't ever get frustrated by it. They don't sit there and after if they might do 5 or 6 sets consecutively and get nothing out of it. But they don't say, "Oh, this isn't working. Let's try something else."
Yeah.
They just stick with it until eventually, generally, the opposition goes, "You know what? It's not working for us either. Let's try something." They try it, make a mistake, boom, Penrith have got you.
Yeah, that's exactly what they do. They're so good at it, and they literally never beat themselves. That's the thing. Like they will never play, or very rarely play a game where they beat themselves. And they got a great, obviously there's that patient style and that, but when they pull the trigger on their attack, it's up there with the best, with like Yo, Cleary, like guys like that, getting the shape on, and their OBs are real good. So when they do pull the trigger, they've got great attack, and they're just patient and wear you out. And it's always a hard game versus Penrith.
When you look up at when you're playing Penrith, and you look up at them and they've got their shape all set up, right? How difficult is that for you guys to sit there and read? Or try and, you obviously had, this is what an idea. You see them in shape, you think this is what you've got a rough idea what they're going to try and do. Yeah. But they've got so many sort of options, I suppose, in that shape to do. Like, how difficult is that to try and read and shut down? Or do you just say that we don't even try and read it? We just sort of try and sit in our system and just stay in your line, as you said earlier, just stay in your line. Like, how do you defend that? Like, what's the thought process that goes through your minds?
Yeah, so, there's little things in that. Like, when Cleary gets the ball out the back or whatever, if it's off Yo, the middle that's defending at 5 man inside the back row, he needs to try and get the ball out of his hands to make it man on man on the edge. But every time Cleary gets the ball, he's getting it because he can pin the 4 man down. Yeah. It's like, he gets the player he needs to get to every time, it feels like. And, and if he's not gonna, they'll just drop it off and they'll play the next play. Yeah, it's so hard to defend against because Yo's the ball play, but like if you go off the line sideways, he'll step on his inside, take your inside shoulder, and make it have a 20-meter carry. So
when you say trying to get to the 4-man,
like a lot of times on the shape when we played him, Cleary was trying to get to the back rower.
Yeah.
Then the lead inside the 3-man, the half, and then with someone out the back to make it a 4 and 3 at the back. So if you're Yo, if they lay like just outside the post, Yo will take it up with a middle off him.
Yep.
Their middle's leading inside. Like say it's a middle. That middle needs to try and get off and get the ball out of Cleary's hands to like make it man on again.
Yeah.
But Cleary's like he pins down the man he needs to. I feel like every time to get an overlap. So it is hard. How
does he do that though? Like what's his little? Has he got like a trick there, or like what's the secret to actually making that work?
Because he can go so deep into the line and still hit a perfect pass. Like it's not a concern for him. Yeah. And also if it's not on, they've got so many options. Yo can if you go too wide for Cleary, Yo's running. Yeah. So as you said, so many options in their attack.
When you're coaching that, is that how much of that is? I suppose it's I don't know if this is even a phrase, but I'll say like repetitive instincts, right? So how much of that? I imagine a lot of that we would all look at and think it's instinct to know whether to drop the ball off inside or to continue to go out and hit the guy outside you, or to, you would know, you would just have a feel for where the defence is and how the defence is reacting, if it's on or not. And certainly many years ago, it would have been instinct. Whereas now you guys do so many repetitions, you do so much study into that area that it's almost like it's learned behaviour sort of beyond instinct. So and then it gets to that truly elite level, where I imagine Nathan just has this, he's done it so often, he recognises the situation so quickly that it just goes boom and it's done.
Yeah, he'd know exactly what cues he's looking for and what he does.
Yeah, cues is a good word,
So I think, as you said, they're just so happy to play the long game and patient. So that's why when they're not going to rush to pull the trigger, but they just put the opposition under so much fatigue, and when you're under that much fatigue, it's bound to happen. Someone's not going to show up. Someone's not going to be in the right position, and they just get picked apart.
Yeah. So when they come up against each other this weekend, Penrith, the one sort of, they didn't name Mitch Kenny in the starting lineup, which I found a little bit surprising. He's coming back from a hamstring injury, but I thought they'd still put him back. They've named him on the bench. I probably do think he's going to play. I can't, particularly with hamstrings. Hamstrings are sort of injury that you don't like to go out, warm up, cool down, sit down, and have to keep getting up and warm up. You generally want to warm it up, go out and play on it to keep the muscle warm. Yeah. So from that point of view, I think they'll play him. Do you think that's fair to think they'll start him?
I think if he plays, he'll start. I think. Yeah.
Especially his style of play, like he's a physical hooker in defence. So if you're going to carry two hookers, which they will, you might as well start Kenny. And if the hamstring does,
see how much you can get out of him.
Then put the Summerton or whoever it's going to be, or Schneider on at the end of the game. But because Kenny's strength is that physical, as a hooker, but he's like a real good defender. Yeah, real strong and tough. So you want him out there at the start of the game for sure.
Yeah. Do you think they will start him?
I think so.
Yeah. The game plan between each team. Serraldo and Cleary know each other very well. They know what the other how they think. The defensive system, basically, we're led to believe is a Serraldo system that he implemented at Penrith, and he's now taken that with him to Canterbury. But it's essentially his system. He's the one that is the architect of it at Penrith. How much do they put into the mind games with each other as opposition coaches, looking at each other and knowing, okay, I know they're going to do this or that, and do I try a trick play to sort of beat that, or do I, can you outsmart yourself there? Like, how will they address each other, do you think?
I think there could be little things you do, but you don't want to reinvent the wheel. Like, you don't want to change too much this time of year. Like, obviously, there's little variations in that I think they can and will both do. Especially, I think Bulldogs might need to do something a bit more so than Penrith, because I think Penrith are better at playing that game than Bulldogs, but I don't think you can do too much different, to be honest.
Dogs have been the best defensive side all year, so they've got to back that and back their defense. It's what's worked for them all year.
Yeah, and is it going to be enough this week for them, do you think?
I personally don't think they get it done. I think they're always gritty and they're always tough and they're unreal defensive side and they just fly up all game. But Penrith are the best at breaking down teams, breaking down defences. So it's definitely going to be an interesting battle. But yeah, I think Penrith will be too classy and there's too much experience there and they're just too good, I reckon. I feel like if Bulldogs had their full strength team, like if Crichton doesn't play, Crichton's a huge loss. Yeah.
It's a huge loss for him defensively. Like obviously he's attack, everyone knows what he can do there, but he's the best defensive centre in the world, and what he does for his whole edge is just like you watch what he does in defence, like does a lot. And Penrith's left edge has been like lethal with Blaze Tulungi and Casey McLean. They've been like real good. So yeah, I feel like Penrith will get over the top of them.
Penrith win this game. They play Brisbane next week in the preliminary final to see who goes into the grand final. They're good enough to go all the way, aren't they, Penrith?
I think
they're the team. If there's going to be a team that's going to come from outside the four, it's this team, isn't it?
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I
think every team to beat them, you need to be on your game, like almost close to your best game as a team. I think, and it's not an easy thing to do. And even if you are your best, it's not a guarantee you're going to beat Penrith. Like they're an amazing team. So I think to be honest, I think they probably will make the grand final. Yeah,
and the thing is too that to do that, they've got to win, 4 games in a row?
4 straight, yeah.
4 straight to do it, that's always seen as the obstacle to be able to be up for 4 straight. But given that they were last after round 12 and went on this winning streak, which they had to do to qualify, like they basically had to do, they probably could have dropped 1 game throughout and still qualified. 1 more game, sorry, to still qualify. But the fact that they went on this long run of wins shows you that mentally they can do it. That's one thing I've always said about Penrith too. People sort of talked about how hard it is to repeat. And I remember saying after they won their first premiership, these are guys who grew up winning the comp every year. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Nathan Cleary was winning the comp every year. Jerome Luai was winning the comp every year as kids. So that they were not in a situation where they felt that pressure of having to defend because that's just what they grew up with. They knew that. I know it's obviously NRL level is a different level, but essentially it's the same pressure, isn't it? You still run out at that level that you're playing, and it's the same guys coming after you for the same motivations of the fact that you're the defending premiers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And just to see him on the bottom of the ladder, I don't think anyone expected it, but yeah, you can never write him off. And I think to your point about, playing 4 straight games, it's probably a big reason why, they all rested that second last game of the year. They rolled out a full reserve grade side basically. And I think I was, looking ahead, looking like, no, we're going to have to be up for 4 straight games there. And I think they can make it. I think Broncos will be, provided they win this week, I think that'll be a great game, but Broncos look good as well. So
you see Penrith winning this week.
Yeah.
Beating the Broncos next week. Penrith one side of the grand final.
I think whoever comes out of if Penrith win this weekend, I think whoever comes out of the Penrith Broncos game will win the grand final. I think I think Broncos are a good chance. Obviously, Carrigan's going to be suspended for that. He's taken the guilty plea, but it's a loss. But I just think if Storm don't have Hughes back, it's a huge loss. He's a class player. Obviously, Pizzette did a good job on the weekend, and he's a good young player. But yeah, Jerome Hughes is a big loss for him. Yeah, it'd be interesting how it all shapes out.
So you see Canberra winning this week. They go up against Melbourne. Who wins out of Canberra and Melbourne?
Does Jerome Hughes play?
I think there might be a chance he might play.
That's what I'm saying. I'd say Storm.
I dare say we'll play this early.
I reckon Storm.
So then Storm, Penrith grand final. Who wins?
What are you saying, Broncos?
I'm not tipping Penrith against Broncos yet.
Oh, have you?
I think Storm will get through, and I can't split Broncos Penrith. I'm going to go Broncos. I'll go Broncos. I'm going to go Broncos Storm grand final, and I don't split
Give
it
us a
50-50.
Look, you got
I'm going to go a little. I'll go Brisbane.
Brisbane
beat Penrith. I think they win it.
Right. So you've got Cronulla winning this week.
Yeah.
You've got Penrith winning this week.
Yeah.
Okay, next week you've got Cronulla against Melbourne.
Melbourne win, I think.
Melbourne win.
Yeah.
You got Penrith and Brisbane.
Oh, I can't tip against Penrith. was just not confident, but I can't go against Penrith.
Right, so you got a Penrith
Storm.
Melbourne grand final.
Yeah.
Who wins?
Oh man. Penrith.
Penrith.
5.
Wow, eh? There we go. All right, guys. I want to say thanks for coming in today. I'm not going to waste too much of your time. I know you. What are you doing now anyway? There's no real off-season training for you, is there yet? You're still just starting to get back running.
No, so I've been back running a while now.
Yeah.
I'm ramping that up now, but we're still going in there twice a week at the moment for rehab. We get a couple weeks off here and there, but it's pretty flexible around because we're in off season at the moment.
And no, but no pre-season training and such. So the rest of the team are all having their break at the moment.
Yeah.
But you guys can't get out of rehab. You've got to just do your rehab, but you wouldn't be doing anything extra, or are you still starting to do a little bit extra? Like, are you doing any sort of running or anything?
Yeah, I ran for the first time earlier in the week, and then once I started doing a few rehab runs and can run fully sprint, full speed and all that, I won't do any more running as part of the rehab. I'll go do my own running training and stuff like that. So it's rehab. It's 2 half days a week, so it's not full training or anything, and you can still do your own training, which we're still doing
our own stuff on the side and get fit, get ready to go for pre-season. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to say thanks for coming in. I really enjoyed having a chat. Actually, you blow me away sometimes the way you blokes think.
Thank you.
It's unreal. Yeah, it really is, and I really appreciate you coming in. So, thanks very much. So we got Penrith grand final. Broncos.
Penrith beating
Penrith. Broncos and Penrith are premiers. We'll see how it goes. You should have a $10 bet on. See who wins. All right.
Cheers. Thanks for having us.
Thank
you. See you next week.
Thank you.